Hegel's Philosophy of Nature, paragraph 250. Insofar as the contradiction of the idea is external to itself as nature, one side of it is formed by the notionally generated necessity of its formations and their rational determination within the organic totality, and the other by their indifferent contingency and indeterminable irregularity. In the sphere of nature, contingency and determinability from without come into their own. This contingency is particularly prevalent in the realm of concrete individual formations, which are at the same time only immediately concrete as things of nature. That which is immediately concrete is in fact an ensemble of juxtaposed properties, external and more or less indifferent to one another. To its simple subjective being for self is therefore equally indifferent, and which it consequently abandons to external, contingent determination. The impotence of nature is to be attributed to its only being able to maintain the determinations of the notion in an abstract manner, and to its exposing the foundation of the particular to determination from without. Remark: the infinite wealth and variety of forms and the utterly irrational contingency which mixes with the external order of natural formations have been praised as the sublime freedom and divinity of nature, or at least as a divinity within it. It is to be expected that ordinary ways of thinking should mistake contingency, caprice, and lack of order for freedom and rationality. This impotence on the part of nature sets limits to philosophy, and it is the height of pointlessness to demand of the notion that it should explain and, as it is said, construe or deduce these contingent products of nature, although the more isolated and trifling they are, the easier the task appears to be. Traces of notional determination will certainly survive in the most particularized product, although they will not exhaust its nature. The traces of this transmission and interconnection will often surprise the investigator, but will be particularly astonishing or even incredible to those accustomed only to seeing the same contingency in the history of nature as they see in that of humanity. Here one has to guard against accepting such traces as the determinate totality of formations, for it is this that gives rise to the analogies mentioned above. The difficulty, and in many cases the impossibility, of finding clear distinctions for classes and orders on the basis of empirical observation has its roots in the inability of nature to hold fast to the realization of the notion. Nature never fails to blur essential limits with intermediate and defective formations, and so to provide instances which qualify every firm distinction. Even within a specific genus such as mankind, monsters occur which have to be included within the genus, although they lack some of the characteristic determinations which would have to be regarded as essential to it. In order to classify such formations as defective, imperfect, or deformed, an invariable prototype has to be assumed, with the help of which we are able to recognize these so-called monsters' deformities and borderline cases. This prototype cannot be drawn from experience, but has as its presupposition the independence and worth of notional determination.